It was a bit of a surprise, yet kind of a pleasant one, when news came out that Hulu was going to relaunch the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series. Sarah Michelle Gellar was coming back, two-time Academy Award nominated director and Academy Award winning director Chloe Zhao was going to direct the pilot and help work with Sarah Michelle Gellar to develop it. They brought in a new younger Slayer as well. Michelle Gellar was going to kind of take on the role as the mentor of the former Slayer and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of, we live in an era when these old IPs are being revitalized, and Buffy seemed like one that made sense. So that's why it was really shocking to read this headline. Buffy reboot is dead. By the way, it wasn't a reboot, it was a relaunch. But the Buffy reboot is dead at Hulu. Sarah Michelle Gellar says, if the apocalypse actually comes, you can still beat me. Not a lot of details have been given out. Chloe Zhao said she wasn't really surprised that they pulled the plug on it. They did shoot the pilot, but here's at least what has been communicated to me. And I actually heard a little bit of this a while ago, but I didn't think it would be a big deal. From my understanding, Zhao and Sarah Michelle Gellar had a vision of a more mature Buffy the Vampire Slayer story. They just had a vision for, Sarah Michelle Gellar is obviously all grown up. Chloe Zhao is the type of filmmaker. We're talking about the filmmaker of Hamnet here. And they had a vision for Buffy because Chloe Zhao grew up loving Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But they had a more mature take on it. And apparently, once they made the pilot, the folks at Hulu said, this isn't really what we had in mind. And they decided to pull the plug on it instead of moving forward with it. Now listen, making entertainment's expensive. Making a pilot costs money, but a lot less money than putting in a commitment to a full season to go into it. And apparently then they just pulled the plug on it. And Rob, I got to tell you, I'm surprised because there was a lot of buzz about a Buffy reboot. When they announced it, it did seem to pick up a lot of traction. And I'm kind of surprised that they didn't just say, let's go back to the drawing board or let's tinker or something. Instead, just saying we're just pulling the plug and moving on. Were you surprised to hear about this? And what are your thoughts on it?
Was I surprised to hear about this? No. But after I heard about it, I did some digging and I got the script and I read it.
Someone send you that script.
Somebody sent me that script. Yes, normally I wasn't paying attention, but for this, I'm a Buffy fan. And one I can tell you, Sarah Michelle Gellar does not appear until the last page of the script.
This is a script for the pilot.
This is the pilot that they shot. It is, I would say that, look, I don't want to slag off on anybody. Here's the thing. What Joss Whedon and his coterie of writers did, and that's people like Jane Espenson, Marty Knox, and there was a great writing staff. Everything that Buffy the Vampire Slayer did right, combining great classical horror tropes with modern teenage life and all different kinds of representation. In Buffy, it was a beautifully balanced concoction. And it really worked. And I'm not saying Buffy was not perfect. There were some seasons that were better than others. And I think the Buffy and Angel together, taken collectively, are a triumph of both genre and teenage storytelling, the likes of which you don't see much. Everything that this pilot script did, it did wrong. It was as if the message of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the world has changed so much that Buffy, that was seen as leading the way in terms of representation and diversity and the different kinds of relationships that were in, they were just matter of fact. They were part of the tapestry, and nobody ever complained about that kind of stuff.
By the way, side note, the script was written by the screenwriters for the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
show. It was Nora and Lilia Zuckerman.
Yes.
Wrote the script for it.
Yes.
For this new Buffy.
Yes. I would say, somebody once said to me that one of the problems with modern television, and I think Buffy and Angel and Joss Whedon's writing is some of the most influential writing of all time in terms of people writing TV today. So many people grew up watching Buffy. The problem is they grew up watching Buffy. but they didn't have the underpinnings that the people who wrote Buffy had to create that show. These are people that everybody, I would just say this, everybody needs to read more books and watch less television if you want to become a writer. And that's, I think that the Scooby Gang in New Sunnydale just didn't work at all. It just didn't work. And I read the script and I'm like, nobody, by page 2, I was pulling my hair out going, because I love Buffy. And I think, you know, it's just today's writers need to read more. That's all I can say. Read more books.
We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Factor. Hey guys, you know how it is. Between the daily live show, tracking the latest box office numbers, and planning our next movie meetup in the van, my schedule gets absolutely hectic. Now, somewhere between the first warm weekend and realizing short season is getting close, eating well stops just being optional. Factor is how we stop letting a busy schedule be our excuse. They provide fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs. I had their smoky Gouda mac and shredded beef after a long editing session last week on that Spider-Man Writes video I did, and it was amazing. So whether you're looking for calorie smart options or the new Muscle Pro collection, which is perfect if you're getting back into a workout routine, they have 100 rotating weekly meals to keep things fresh. And the best part? They are always fresh, never frozen, and ready in just 2 minutes with zero prep and zero stress. I love it, and I think you will too. So head over to factormeals.com/Campea50off and use the code Campea50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. All right, guys, question is for you. Were you surprised to find out that this highly vaunted Buffy relaunch has now been unceremoniously killed and put on the shelf? Hey, listen, they're saying that they still believe in the IP and maybe they'll revisit it again somewhere down the line. Yeah, I've always wondered about that, but maybe they will, maybe they won't. How do you feel about this? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called The John Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.